Hey, it's Thomas here, and today we're going to be checking out Salifert's calcium test kit. In this video, we'll go over what you get in the box, what might make this Salifert calcium test kit a good option for you, and I'll walk you through how to perform this titration-based test kit. If you're newer to reefing, testing for calcium is important because corals with calcium carbonate skeletons require a certain amount of calcium to be available to them at all times in order to thrive. And they will consume calcium as they grow, which lowers the amount of calcium in the water. Dosing calcium back to the aquarium without knowing how much is in the water already can lead to a couple of issues. One, not knowing how much is in there and just adding some back could mean that you're not adding enough and the levels will continue to fall, or you could be adding too much and cause those levels to become elevated, which can also cause issues. The only way to know if your calcium in your reef tank is within that optimal range is to test for it. Salifert's calcium test kit is inexpensive and easy to perform and has been trusted by successful reefers for decades. It can read calcium in small 10 ppm increments and has no ceiling since you can continue to titrate until you reach the end color. So whether your calcium is low, right where it should be, or astronomically high, this test kit is going to be able to give you an accurate reading. In the box, you'll find reagent 1, reagent 2, and reagent 3, a 1 milliliter syringe with a pink collection tip, a 2 milliliter syringe, a scoop, the test vial, and instructions with a quick reference guide. To perform the test, collect 2 milliliters of sample water from the aquarium using the 2 milliliter syringe and add it to the test vial. Next, add 1 level scoop of reagent CA1, then 10 drops of reagent CA2, and then gently swirl the vial for 10 seconds to mix the reagents. Then, using the 1 milliliter syringe with the pink collection tip, draw up 1 milliliter of reagent CA3. The end of the black plunger should sit right on the 1 milliliter marking of the syringe, and it is normal for there to be a small pocket of air below the plunger. You don't need to remove it, and it will not affect the accuracy of the test, as the extra volume of the pink collection tip will ensure you've drawn exactly 1 milliliter of solution. And now we're ready to start the titration process. Using the now full 1 milliliter syringe with the pink collection tip, add a single drop of reagent CA3 to the vial and then gently swirl for 1 to 2 seconds, and repeat until the liquid in the vial changes from the pink start color to the blue end color as shown on the quick reference guide. Once the vial changes over fully to that blue color, take note of the remaining amount of liquid in the syringe and compare that amount to the chart in the instructions to get your calcium reading. For example, I have roughly 0.12 milliliters left in my syringe, which corresponds to 440 ppm of calcium. If your sample did not reach the end color, you can draw up another 1 milliliter of reagent CA3 and continue titrating until it does change. Once your solution changes to the endpoint color, compare that amount to the chart in the instructions and take that result and then add 500 ppm. For example, if my second syringe of CA3 has 0.8 mil remaining, I'll take the corresponding 100 ppm and add 500 ppm to get my reading of 600 ppm. A quick tip, if you're using standard test kits, especially titration-based test kits like this one, having a small magnetic stir like this Auto Aqua Smart Stir can make the testing process much easier, and they're relatively inexpensive. So if you want to make this and other tests even faster to perform and more accurate, you can pick one up for around 30 bucks. This Salifert calcium kit will perform up to 50 standard tests or 100 tests if using the smaller 1 milliliter sample, which works out to between 37 cents and 19 cents per test, and should last the average reefer just over a year of weekly or twice per week testing. I would definitely recommend that you stick to that 2 milliliter sample size if you're newer to testing, as having that larger sample size does make it easier to get more accurate results. However, if you are a more experienced reefer and you can do the 1 milliliter test accurately, then it will take that test kit a lot further for you. If this Salifert test kit fits your reefing mantra and you'd like to pick one up for yourself, you can do that by clicking right here.